So today I'll be comparing the exteriors of the car. So we've got the R34 Skyline here, we've got the Mazda MX6 over here. So from the outside, these are two completely different cars. The R34 is a boxy sedan, while the MX6, it looks like a hatchback, but it's actually a coupe. So it's got this wing on the rear, a bit like an RX-7, but the rear glass doesn't lift up with the boot lid. So technically that's a coupe. Over here, Skylines are definitely a sedan or coupe. So what differentiates them is the doors. My one's a sedan, so it's a 4-door. The coupe versions are quite similar. The only difference is about 3 centimeters off the back. So cut off the extra overhang of the bumper, and this will be the same size as the 2-door. The wheelbase is the same. I believe it's 2665 or 2660. The overall length of the R34 is about 4.71 meters, while the MX6 on the other hand is about 4.61 meters. So there's a little bit of difference there, not too much though. The width, so the R34 is about 1800 wide, I think it's 1830. The MX6 is a little wider, I think it's about 1910. Those are all millimeters. MX6 has the sunroof. Skylines have an optional glass sunroof and optional monsoon shield for the sunroof as well. Around the front you get the iconic nose of the R34. This is the GT non-GTR model front, so it's got the slanted intake, not the flat one of the GTR. There's also a facelift version which has this open with a mesh in the middle. MX6 on the other hand, smooth, a bit like an NB or NC Miata MX5. This one has the Euro headlights in it, which means they're split, not the JDM, which are a single piece. Last time I mentioned that the Skyline has electric folding mirrors. The MX6 doesn't have power fold mirrors, it does have power adjust mirrors. So the wheels on here are the factory 15-inch. What I've got on my car, my R34, are 18-inch wheels, exactly as the manufacturer's, the workshop manual recommends. Now let's look at the height. So both of these, they're very similar in height. I think the Mazda is a little bit shorter, but when I walked out of the house this morning, I was actually surprised how short the R34 actually is. So this is about eye level for me. Let's just walk around, and it comes up a little bit above my elbow height. The MX6 is about the same. I think it's a little bit shorter than the R34. However, if we go out here to one of my flatmate's friends' Mazda 3, it's a lot taller. So this is almost shoulder height on me. And now for the driving part of the test. So I'm just letting the car warm up, but already I can feel the steering's a lot better. Clutch, wow, barely have to press it in. And now let's get moving. Very powerful engine, just wants to pull straight off the mark. Ooh. Than MX6, and it goes exactly where you point let's try to get to 100 as quick as possible. And as you can see, very smooth idle, so smooth you can't even feel it inside. That's a win for the four-wheel steering. here, same place, this little patch of concrete, and go. 60. Oh, there's like music in here or something. And 100. Yep, third into fifth. Which of these two would I call the winner? Well, I would have to go a bit soccer here and say that they are both winners for their own reasons. The MX6 on my left here because it is a lot cheaper than the Skyline and it still gets decent power from the 2.5 litre V6. However, you still get cruise control, a sunroof, and of course the four-wheel steering system, which helps it to absolutely hammer corners. The gruntier Skyline, on the other hand, has 50 Newton meters more than the MX6, and being a sedan, it has the practicality of rear seats for passengers and cargo. The controls are much more refined and responsive, and you get the iconic R34 front. However, being much larger and being more race-oriented and lacking the four-wheel steering, it is less practical for dailying or driving in a city. And did I mention that I sold the bike?